how much better does it feel to, instead of getting a lead handed to you and closing it, to literally create one out of thin air?
Oh yeah, no,
Take
that's
it
huge.
all the way. Don't you feel like empowered? Like, I
It's
don't need
amazing.
anybody.
And I'll tell you this, I've got buyers, but these days people are, they're waiting, they're lagging, they make offers, they don't get accepted. Um, for May especially, I would not have closed anything if it wasn't for these lead hacker leads. And yes, it does absolutely taste much better when you're hunting the leads yourself. So we've already taken cash out of one property. We're looking at two properties to buy right now. And I also wanted to mention, I've been getting a lot of new followers, and it specifically says these are followers from your ads. And that's another thing that I never did before.
You're doing, you're at 38K in revenue generated. I know it's going to be much more than that, man. It sounds like you're here for the long haul. What's up, guys? I am here with Andy Camacho. We are doing a testimonial today. Now, Andy, his story is going to sound really familiar for a lot of lead hackers in the community. I know when I first met Andy, I forget how we met Andy. Somebody had said, I don't know, and again, this was like what, a month ago, two months ago, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
And so I remember one of my team members came to me and said, "Hey, I spoke to Andy. He's a little discouraged. And so, I think he might want to cancel. I don't know what, and I was like, you know what? Let me talk to him because I actually had time that day. And so you and I hopped on a call, and you were saying a lot of the things that people say at the beginning. When they're with lead hackers, they're in their first month, maybe they're in their second month, or even their third month, and they're a little discouraged because they don't have any closed loans yet because they don't understand how campaigns optimize and how it takes time to optimize, and they're not necessarily practicing the right things. Not saying that that was happening with you, but then I connected you with Jason Brothers, and you had sent me a text, which I posted in the Facebook group the other day, telling me about your wins, which I love, guys. By the way, if you have my number and you win, let me know about it. Post about it in the group because it just inspires everybody else and lets them know that the success is possible. And so, why don't you kind of walk me through that, Andy? Walk me through when you first signed up, what that experience was like, and really what was the turnaround for you. And then we could tell everybody, what production you've been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started January 15th.
Okay.
That's when I signed up. And I was excited, and you guys did set the right expectations. You said clearly said it takes 3 months. Um, the first 100 general campaign, leads, they were just like you said, they're not going to be the highest quality. But made some good connections, and nothing came out of it, which is okay. I wasn't expecting anything. But where I started to get frustrated was month number two, not frustrated and starting to panic, right? Because I thought, hey, once month two came, I was super stoked. But then I thought, why am I not getting applications? Why am I not getting XYZ? And my error, what I look back on now, my big error was I was not patient. Um, I was changing campaigns like every week, every 2 weeks, chasing, first time buyers, and then, HELOCs. And so that was the big issue. And I finally, realized, especially after talking to Jason, it's like, hey, you got to pick one and just let it ride. You got to be patient. You got to let it ride, be all over it. Um, every time I'd get a lead, I would call them immediately, do all that. And over time, there is still a lot of connections that I have that are going to come to fruition. But there was two clients that, we hit it off right away, and those were the wins that I got. One person was a DSCR that ended up turning into just a regular traditional buyer because they weren't really familiar with the DSCR, but they did need it for business purposes per se, one of those medical facility type homes. But yeah, we basically took that one and ran with it. I'm the broker of record here, so I do real estate sometimes when somebody wants me to. And so I was able to do both for them. They liked it because they're just dealing with one person. So we closed that one. That one closed May 9th, and that was great. Then the other gentleman is a existing investor. He's got a couple properties in Northern California. And I basically gave him this really nice game plan that I did through chat. I spoke into it, told the game plan. Chat basically organized it for me. I sent him the PDF, like, hey, this is our game plan. And he just ate it up. Like that guy's, he's mine. So we've already taken cash out of one property. We're looking at two properties to buy right now. He's currently on short-term disability, so we are also going to be doing a VA loan, and I'll be doing the real estate on that as well here in San Diego. So I mean, those two clients have more than covered, whatever costs are going to be coming from lead hackers for the year.
That's amazing. And how much better does it feel to, instead of getting a lead handed to you and closing it, to literally create one out of thin air?
Oh yeah, no,
Take
that's
it
huge.
all the way. Don't you feel like empowered? Like, I
It's
don't need
amazing.
anybody.
And I'll tell you this, I've got buyers, but these days people are, they're waiting, they're lagging, they make offers, they don't get accepted. Um, for May especially, I would not have closed anything if it wasn't for these lead hacker leads. And yes, it does absolutely taste much better when you're hunting the leads yourself.
Yeah.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, yeah. And so what does it look like going forward? What's your plan? Are you going to stick with DSCR? Is that kind of where you've been because
Yeah,
I know that's
so
where Jason sticks to.
Jason's the man. He's really creative, and I know that he's working kind of behind the scenes. He's kind of told me like, "Hey, can't talk about it, but we've got some things coming." And I actually hired somebody as well because I'm just getting so busy with these leads. During this early month of May, I was actually not getting to every single lead the way I like to. I call them, but not calling them immediately as soon as it hits my phone. That's like a good best practice that I've learned through the strategy calls.
Right.
And so I hired a loan officer assistant. So she's helping me with the leads that are stagnant. I assign them to her because I'm Lead Hackers Plus, so I have like those extra seats. So a good practice is the ones that have kind of ghosted me. I've not given up. Um, Funny enough, I actually had one of the folks from the general campaign call me just out of the blue and was like, "Hey, I want to apply." I'm like, "Man, I forgot about you. You were from January."
A lot of the cases they circle back. It's like they're
Yeah.
they're into it, but they're not ready to go for like another 3 months. And that's why we say, hey, around day 90, you start getting all the people who were generated month one to start like reaching out or you're reaching out to them and they're much more receptive. And so, typically, there's timelines where it's like, that 1 to 3 month timeline. And what happens is, and if I show you the data, like everybody who cancels with lead hackers cancels in the first 90 days, and we
Yeah.
tell them you don't get results till like 90 to 120 days. And even though we say that,
Right.
just goes in one ear and out the other, or they just build these false expectations that they set for themselves instead of everything that we harp on the onboarding, letting them know like, hey, we even say, hey, don't bother doing this
Right.
unless you're going to be doing this for at
Yeah,
least 90
and
days.
that's a great point because for me, I think like most people, money's a motivator. So I was seeing this money come out, buying these leads, and it was scaring me, but it was motivating me, which is good. It's a good thing.
Right, right.
And actually, one of your coaches, Eric, he told me, he goes, "Hey, you're playing from a place of fear, and you can't do that. You either gotta go all in, but if you're gonna do this, like watching the bank account and counting every little lead and like you're gonna sound stressed, you're gonna have that commission
People can
pressure.
sense that on the phone, man.
Absolutely.
That's what I tell my sales guys all the time. I'm like, hey, if you're desperate to make a sale, they'll know,
Oh yeah,
and it'll
absolutely.
turn them off. Like they won't buy from you.
Yeah. So I just started psyching myself out, acted like I have a huge pipeline, and just put myself in a good mindset, excuse me. And yeah, I'll just bang out those calls. And again, the ones that hit your phone right away, those like just even if you're not ready to do anything, even if I'm, I don't know, having dinner or something, I'll give them a buzz. Say, hey, listen, I'm not in the office, but can I call you tomorrow or later on tonight if you're available? Because I'm doing DSCR, in different states. So
Right.
being in California, some of these guys are kind of up late. But that has been a big difference. And I also wanted to mention, I've been getting a lot of new followers, and it specifically says these are followers from your ads. And that's another thing that I never did before. I took the time, and it's a pain. It takes a lot of time and nobody likes doing it, but I started just posting stuff, and my mentality was something is better than nothing.
Yep.
And I'm getting folks that are following me, and it specifically says new follower from your ads.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, 100%. You could simultaneously grow your personal brand, especially if you put the time into your, building out your Facebook page and you have your picture, your professional picture, and your
Yep.
posting. It certainly helps a lot on both Facebook and Instagram. And then people are just more familiar with you as well, and so they look at you kind of as a trusted advisor. How much revenue would you say you've generated so far?
The number is 38,000.
38,000.
Yep.
Fantastic. And so what do you think? Because you know what it seemed like? It seemed like right after your call with Jason Brothers, it was like a paradigm shift for you.
He's just magnetic, and he's a bright guy, and he really, gave me that spark that I really needed. He's the epitome of like a good leader and a good coach, and I respect that. I always try to maintain that coachable mentality as well. I mean, because if I knew it all, I wouldn't be, in certain situations. So I get that, right? And so when I got on the phone with him, I was just blown away. And we've connected big time. We're buddies. You know what I mean? He's gonna come down to San Diego one of these days. I'm gonna go up and visit him one of
He's
these days.
awesome, dude.
Yeah, he's a
Love
great
him.
guy. So yeah, I mean, I love sharing ideas with him. He kind of comes back to me. I showed him my social media. He loved it. And it's nothing crazy. It's just
Right.
because I figure if you're getting these people through Meta, which is Facebook, Instagram, well, when they want to verify you, they're going to click on your business page. And if you've got nothing in there,
Yep.
so that's really important. And I don't do videos yet. It's one of my next challenge that I'm trying to overcome that little.
Just wait. Jason's making a brand new DSCR video. He's working on it with Brandon. That might have been what he told you he can't talk about.
Now he
Um,
told me, I just don't want to
he
talk about
told you, oh, yeah, yeah.
it.
So once he has that, I think you guys will do extremely well.
Yeah.
Let's dive into this. Three tips that you would give to a lead hacker in their first month.
Pick a lane and be patient. That's number one. That's the biggest one. Number two, just you've got to be all over those leads.
Speed to lead, right?
Excuse me.
Speed to lead.
Speed to lead and get curious when the number three would be when they object, because you're gonna get people that said, I never signed up for this. I'm busy, or we already found something. I start asking questions, and then the big tip that Jason gave me is be quiet. Ask an open-ended question and be quiet. Like, hey, how's the home search going? Like, okay, cool. Well, how's it going? How's the home search going so far? And they start talking, you just be quiet. And the name of the game is just be quiet, because whoever talks first is the one who loses. So those would be the top three. It's just, again, be patient, speed to lead, and be tactful when you're calling these people, and open into questions. Don't get turned off, because again, they're just going, a lot of times they just want to get off the phone because they're intimidated. I think of it this way, like they're probably intimidated. They're probably scared.
They think that speaking to a loan officer means they have to move tomorrow.
Correct. Yeah, it's a good point. So those would be my top three.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, like, hey, when we had appointment setters with our lead gen agency, I would tell our appointment setters to say, hey, a lot of people think that when they talk to if they, talk to a loan officer, it means they have to move tomorrow. That's not the case at all. We just want to give you the information so you can get all your ducks in a row so that when you are ready to move, you're ready to go, right? You're
Yeah.
at an advantage. You can make an offer quickly. And so, um, really, really good advice. Obviously, you're at 38K in revenue generated. I know it's going to be much more than that, man. It sounds like you're here for the long haul. I always know, like, dude, we don't have in some cases, even with our base playing users, like, we don't have any contracts for the base, but we have people who have been with us 2 years, 2.5 years, and you can always tell by the people like who are winning. Like you're just like you remind me of Scott Seltz, who
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Scott Seltz wasn't getting any results at first, and now he's closed 40 plus loans through
Jeez.
lead hackers. And it really comes down to just sticking around long enough to get that first win.
Yeah.
And then it just snowballs and snowballs. And so I'm excited to see, what you got in store these next few months, and we can keep talking. So I can keep talking about your wins, posting it in the group. And it's important for people to see that people are winning with this program. And it really comes down to the LO. It comes down to the work they put in. It comes down to the coaching calls they attended. It comes down to the calls that they make.
I was going to mention that actually. Like, you got to watch those videos. I mean, I've saved, your time for you guys, for your staff, and time for me just by watching the video. And just, I have multiple screens. I pause it, like literally step one, pause it, play, step two, pause, play. And the strategy calls are huge because
Yeah.
you got other people in there, they're trying different things. And again, you just got to pick your lane. And that was my thing. I kept chasing the shiny object, like Brandon famously
Right.
says. That was me. And I knocked it off. And I'm just, like you said earlier, what am I going to do? I'm probably going to stick to DSCR. I'm probably going to double down on it, to be honest with you. It's pretty fruitful. I feel like my pixel's really dialed in right
It's
now.
our best performing too. And what
Yeah.
I love about DSCR is that it's the gift that keeps on giving. You don't generally get one deal out of a DSCR, you get multiple.
Right. And plus you're dealing with folks that have a more of a business mindset. And you're gonna get your time wasters, that's normal. But the people that do, like I said, the guy who I sent the PDF with the game plan, I mean, he was all about it. And one of the things I tell people is like, hey, let me help you build your empire. And he loved it. So yeah, I even put it in the little PDF that I wrote to him. I was like, hey, let's build your empire together.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. You use Chat GPT for that?
Oh yeah, I'm a Chat GPT
Oh,
just
me too. I mean, it's my COO.
yeah, I treat it like, I treat it like that genius that has no common sense.
Here's what I tell people that don't use ChatGPT because it's actually, I go, imagine having the smartest person in the world right next to you, and you can ask them anything and you ask them nothing.
Right.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually use it for branding. I've been doing yeah, I've discovered a little passion for marketing. That's why I love Lead Hacker so much because I can see the ads and I can see that every word you guys are using, the color schemes, like I see it all.
You can
I've
create
actually
your own ads too. You might want to try.
yeah, yeah, that's what Jason and I have been talking about as well. So, I mean, it's been great. I've spoken to a couple other lead hackers as well with the whole branding thing. I kind of show them what I do with, and it's pretty cool because it's I've learned the prompts to tell Chat GPT to give me the branding, like for other professions in any business, and so it's pretty cool. Like it's kind of want to keep it on my hat for now because it's
Sure.
pretty cool. But yeah, I've been hitting the nail on the head with everybody that I've shown this to. So like I do it for realtors and they eat it up. So
Love it, man.
yeah,
Love it. Yeah, we're actually coming out with something where you know how we have a social media planner
yes,
in the CRM. Now we're having AI be implemented into the social media planner where it will actually take current events and current rates and make posts out of them. So it's all relevant. It's brand new stuff. And so we're working on that. That's coming down the pipeline here soon. But yeah, man, I appreciate you hopping on the call. It's always good to talk to winners. And
yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing what you close next, man.
yeah.
Especially with
It's
the
gonna be
art
a
guys.
great summer. It really
Yeah,
is.
amazing, man. All right, we'll talk soon.
Well, thanks, Alex.
Thanks.